If you owe less than $10,000 in IRS taxes and it's been around for years, I'm going to show you how to make it finally go away with a guaranteed IRS payment plan. I'll show you how to set it up, and the video starts right now.
If you want to stop any problem with the IRS, we'll show you our best insider tips, how-to guides, and little-known secrets to get there fast. Before we jump in, go ahead and click that subscribe button so you never miss another video to protect yourself and your bank account from the IRS. Let's go.
Hey, I'm Tax Lady Katie, and with Real Talk from Tax Law Offices. We're doing this video on how to set up payment plans with the IRS for anyone who still owes $10,000 or less in tax to the IRS, and they cannot seem to make it go away. So if you like this video, just hit that like button. I hope you like it. Yep, right now, just hit that button. While you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to the Real Talk and Tax Lady Katie YouTube channels. Since you're watching this video, it's likely you or someone you know makes really good money at what they do. But they ended up owing the government a ridiculous amount of tax, and this debt just hangs around year after year after year. And I mean, even if it's just $1,000 to $2,000 in tax, that's still a lot, right? So personally, I know tons of people in the tattoo and body arts industries. They're my peeps. A lot of them had to deal with this craziness of IRS tax collections, with getting threat letters and with being worried about what might happen next. Nobody wants to live like that. And it's not just people in tattoos and body art either. You can include musicians, DJs, hairstylists, nail techs, auto mechanics, security guards, Uber and Lyft drivers. Without even trying hard, you could probably name another 5 or 6 professions that have to deal with the IRS the same way. Okay, so real quick, why does this happen? All of these people described here could be independent contractors, independent workers, or just call themselves business owners. At the end of the year, they probably receive a 1099 form to file their taxes. Basically, anybody who works and receives a 1099 form learns their situation is different from someone with a regular job who receives a W-2 form every year. See, the 1099 workers don't have the convenience of having federal and state taxes taken out of their paychecks throughout the year. And really, that's what starts the problem. So, I don't want to focus on the problem. You already know the problem, which is more taxes than you can pay. No one has explained to you how to deal with this. Plus, you're busy all the time. Plus, nobody really wants to talk to the IRS. Am I right? Am I right? So let's focus on a good solution to this problem. Let's set up a guaranteed installment agreement. Here's why you might want this guaranteed installment agreement. First of all, if you qualify, you have an absolute right to it. Plus, it automatically stops all of those threatening letters, and it stops your worries about what might happen next. And like I said, if you qualify, then IRS has to give it to you, without requiring some manager's approval, without collecting a bunch of your personal documents, and without giving you any nasty attitude. So here we go. Grab some paper to write this down. Here are the 6 rules to qualify. Number 1, you have to owe income tax only of $10,000 or less. This amount does not include penalties and interest, so even if you actually owe more than $10,000, as long as the actual tax part is under $10,000, that still works. Less than $10,000 tax. Next rule, number 2, this guaranteed agreement is only for old debt. So your last few years' taxes have to be all filed with no new debt owed from the last few years. IRS says the requirement is a clean tax history for the last 5 years. But they'll still let you set it up if your taxes have not been clean for 5 years. It could be less. Seriously, the IRS will give it to you. So, clean history for 5 years. Next is rule number 3. During the same last 5 years, you can't have had another installment agreement. That's a deal breaker. Maybe, but maybe not. So, no recent installment agreements. Okay, rule number 4. You qualify if you cannot afford to pay the tax immediately. Okay, so I laugh at this rule because why else would we be here anyway? Yeah, sure, IRS, I really can't afford to pay it all, but I'd rather not. But seriously, you just have to tell the IRS you can't afford to pay, and that's enough. So, can't afford to pay, duh. Okay, stay with me here. We're almost through it. Next are rules 5 and 6. You agree to fully pay the old tax liability within 3 years, and you agree to file and pay on time your next 3 years' tax returns. Rule number 5, pay off old tax. Rule number 6, file and pay new taxes on time. Okay, so that's all the rules. Maybe they won't apply to everyone perfectly, but still, if you're anywhere close to qualifying, you just have to go for it, because IRS wants to set up payment plans like this. And the last thing, how do we tell the IRS to set this up? The best, fastest, cleanest way is simple, but nobody likes this part. It's like a little kid eating spinach. You have to call the IRS. Even though it's a pain, do it anyway. You just have to suck it up and call. Tell the IRS person you want this guaranteed installment agreement. That way, they have to make an immediate note in your records that you called for this. This tells IRS you are actively making an attempt to resolve the tax, which is a good move on your part. And the best phone number right now is the IRS Automated Collection System line, shown at the top of the screen. If the number ever changes, I'll let you know. After that, the IRS will set up a Form 433D for your signature and mail it to you. This Form 433D is the only one you'll have to sign in return. You might choose to add banking information to it. IRS wants the agreement to be direct debit from a bank or a paycheck, but really, I preferred to just send my own payments instead of giving the IRS my bank account, but that's just me. After you complete, sign and date the 433D form, mail it back. Send it certified and keep the certified mail receipt. Or fax the form if they give you a fax number, but I'd still also mail it. Within a month or two, you'll be all set up. Your payments will start, no more letters, no more worry. Okay, so that's it. You're ready to make that call for your own guaranteed installment agreement with the IRS. And if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, follow Tax Lady Katie on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. If you need to talk about a different problem, just hit the link below this video. We'll get your contact info and whatever is going on in your tax world. I'm Tax Lady Katie, and we'll see you in the next video.